It was a decent finish to Bristol Rovers' season. No more games for them to play, so it's time to do my Bristol Rovers team of the season, featuring the players that did it the best from my view, and comparing it to last season, looks like, based on the finish, we dropped a few places down from 10 to 13th, but let's hope it doesn't keep declining for the next few seasons. Whenever I do something Bristol Rovers related, that gets at the hard-hitting views. My popularity is brought to the attention for that, and even most of the love test videos prove that. And my most viewed video is a Bristol Rovers related video, which was on a couple of days ago was a couple of years from the day Bristol Rovers were promoted to League One, which that's a celebration. But no more self-promotion. Let's get into this team. So number one, Sam Slocum. Now, as a goalkeeper, he came in with Adam Smith. We were pretty much goalkeeperless before them, as Joe Lumley's loan had expired and Mildenhall was retiring from Claremont and moving into coaching. And people were going, "Oh, we got to get Joe Lumley back. He did so well." But we signed these other two keepers. There was a dread of us just getting more keepers in on loan, but no, we signed a couple of solid Football League goalkeepers, one being Adam Smith and the other being Sam Slocum. Now, both of those keepers got a fair share of games, but I think Sam Slocum did the better, not just because he got a bit more games, but I felt he performed better. He seemed more confident, and he wasn't really making as much mistakes as Adam Smith. And Smith's taller, Slocum's wider. That's a difference to when you look at the two keepers. So Sam Slocum is my goalkeeper because I think he was just more confident and he didn't make so many costly errors. But on we go to right back. Daniel Ledbetter and James Clark are also in consideration for right back. But my pick is Joe Partington. Even though he got an injury towards the last 6 games, I think it was, he still performed brilliantly before then. And even in the defensive midfield position, he was looking good. And defending and taking the ball forward from the right back position, that looked good. I'm starting to think I can't drag on too much with some of these players. The pick is important. Centre backs was the hardest ones to decide. Those 4 that were just all up there. I asked the Bristol Rovers Facebook groups to help me find out. I wasn't going to decide based on what they were saying, but I would take their thoughts into consideration. First defender, Tom Broadbent, started it with an excellent first season at Bristol Rovers. Often, yes, he'd have to take a back seat to Ryan Sweeney, Tom Lockyer, Tony Craig, but I felt he did well. Tackles, taking the ball forward, energetic. So, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. Also, his skills from the army helped him get stronger as a defender. So that's my first sentence. Second defender. Now I pick Tony Craig because he made a difference to our back line. A lot of the times in the first half of the season we were just conceding in easy pounceable goals. When he came in, he I wouldn't say fixed, but he sort of was preventing it more and more. And after being at Millwall for so long, he came over here, and I think soon enough he can get the captaincy. He's great defender throughout, and when you can impact a defence with just half a season, then that shows that you've got to be in this team of the season. Yeah, Mark Bowler was a close contender. I wouldn't blame anyone for picking him, but I've got to go with Lee Brown. Even though it's easy to pick him because it's a lovely way to end off his Rovers career. He had another excellent season, taking the ball forward, assisting, doing well in the back line. I think he was and overall I think he did a lot of the stuff you expect in a defender better than Mark Bowler, but it's no fault of his own. But Lee Brown is my pick for left back. Now, despite the fact he left Preston in the January transfer window, what he did at the start, in the beginning, just made us look like a one-man team, and it proved that after he got injured, after we were losing such a big run of games. However, when he was playing, he was doing the magic for us, scoring, assisting, twisting, turning, and making the opposition's defence clueless. He just added something to that attack, and I think compared to the other wingers you could consider, I don't think they've reached Bowden's level for this season, so I've put him in the team. Now it's hard to leave this guy off. No wonder he was given Player of the Season, and what a goal that was against Cambridge United. Even and that's saying something. Just look at his other goals: Northampton, Portsmouth, as well as some others. But he's definitely added something to this team. Going forward, tracking back, and His partnership with the midfielders were brilliant, and I think he was whilst he probably wasn't my nominee, he's definitely would be my second choice for the award. But going forward, tracking back, the tackling, the goals, the assists, he had everything. And he could have stayed at Oxford, but he said no, fuck that. He wants to play for Darrell in the famous blue and white. And when we see the next one, we'll find out it's Ollie Clarke. So I'm picking Ollie Clarke in the other central midfield role for the team this season. I thought he's performed better and more consistently than Chris Lines and Stuart Sinclair. He got injured somewhere in the season, even though he did well as well. Ollie Clarke got out a lot of games, so that was another fact, gave him the advantage to coming on this list. But going forward, making things happen, still being the same Ollie Clarke we've had for the past few seasons, and it's done enough to get on this list. When Tony Craig and Kyle Bennett came into the side, I thought these were great additions to our squad, and Kyle Bennett was brilliant. He was not like for like, but a good replacement, and maybe even better than Billy Bowden. Although he played on the left more, whereas Bowden played more only on the right. Even though Bennett, I think, has played on the right side at least once, but whenever he scores, he takes his goals well. He brings the attack forward, make stuff happen, make the defence terrified. He's quick on the ball as well, and I don't know what else to say, but except for what I've said already. But he deserves to be on this list. Well taking goals and brought the attack forward. Well, this was my player of the season, and he scored a lot, defended well when the opposition were taking a corner, quick on the ball, threatening, and he's the easiest striker to pick out of this lot. The goals scored, and there were some questions about how well he would do after the first few games, but he just got better and better. So many well-taken goals, and yes, and the club's top scorer, and we'll see if he can reach the 20 mark he's been targeting next season. In terms of picking strikers, we haven't been spoilt for choice. Only 4 really stood out. The others were not ready for the first team yet. Ellis Harrison, easily the best pick. Rory Gaffney would be the other striker I'd pick. Now, he sort of drifted off into nothing in the second half of the season, but in the first half of the season, I'd say he did well. Got some well-taken goals in, brought the ball forward. His work rate was good at that point. Compared to, say, Telford, didn't get enough games, and he hit form a bit too late. Again, Tom Nichols didn't do well throughout most of the season. Had a couple of good games, but it's not enough. But Rory Gaffney, I think he still did well in this season despite near the end performance, and has got the ball forward and scored some good goals. So I'm sorry that this video is not the best, but I suppose it will get a good amount of views. Let me know who you would have picked and what your thoughts on my team was. In the meantime, I'm gonna shut off and let everything roll.